Am I the a-hole for not wanting to leave a chair free in honor of my late wife at my wedding? My first wife passed away 12 ago and I was really young at that time. I did my best to get over the loss and move on. I loved her in the past, but it's my past now and I need to live the present for myself. I found another love. I met my girlfriend 7 years ago. I love her and she has always respected that I am a widower. I don't really name my first wife except on occasions when I tell an anecdote where she is there, and I don't have pictures or anything of her in my home. I want to give my girlfriend the place she deserves. I've had many bad experiences in a grief help group and learned what not to do in a new relationship. I'm going to get married in November. At first I didn't know whether to invite my first wife's family because I didn't know if they would want to attend, so I never said anything to them or invited them to the wedding. I don't talk with them except for a text every few months, but her mother was the one who texted me to tell me that she would be very happy to go, so I ended up inviting her and her husband. They kinda invited themselves and I have problems with saying no, much more in that kind of situation. On the weekend we were putting some things together and my mother told me that it would be good to put an extra chair in honor of my first wife. That was an idea of my late wife's mother, but she didn't talk about that with me first, but with my mother. We pay per seat. Each chair we put up is charged as if it were a person. They would even charge me for drink and food, as if someone was really present, and honestly I am quite tight financially on the wedding, so I think it would be a waste of money in something symbolic, because if I do that for her I also have to do that for all the members of my family who died because they would complain about it. My father and brother also died, so that would be even more money. I'm not a spiritual person either, so I don't believe in those things and I don't like any kind of ritual or symbolic thing. I also don't want to have a moment to talk about deceased people and kill the atmosphere. I just want a nice and joyful wedding for my girlfriend. Just to make my mother shut up, I said that if someone offers to pay the money I will ask for more chairs. There would be 7 relatives, too many. I knew that nobody was going to pay for that, because I can't spend money in more things, but no one talked and I thought that she would forget that, but my mother said that then I should include photos of me with my first wife when they show the typical video of the bride and groom as they grow up. I just don't want to do that. I even find disrespectful for my girlfriend to put pictures of my first wife when I'm getting married again, let alone make a whole video about those times. It's just weird to me, but I know that there are widowers who have done so. It leaves me confused. My first wife appears in some of the photos I chose to go through in the video, not the one my mother wants me to do. In photos where I'm traveling with friends or family, it's not that I'm hiding her identity or anything like that, but I just want that moment to be my wife and mine. I already healed. My mother has been doing everything to make me feel guilty, and honestly it's hard not to feel guilty when the words come from a person who went through the same thing as me. I know my girlfriend would agree because she's really kind and she has already said that she is not really interested in what others think because she is the one who will be my wife. I'm the one who feels uncomfortable. Am I the a-hole? I want that moment to be my girlfriend and mine. I already had that moment with my first wife years ago. Now I want to have this moment with her. Is it a bad thing? Edit. Please stop recommending me to make a table with photos of the dead, make a speech, put centerpieces, etc. I don't want to do any of that. Update. First of all, I want to clarify that in Spanish, novia means girlfriend and bride. The word fiancé is not really used in my country because it sounds too respectful. I talked to my girlfriend about the exact situation. Until now she had always said that she doesn't care and supports me in whatever I decide. But when I told her that it makes me uncomfortable and what my mother said, she just got angry and told me, let's talk to your mother. She has the balls. I don't have to be honest. When my ex-Mil found out about my engagement, she sent me a message saying, I'm really happy for you, me and her husband's name, would love to attend. I really didn't know how to reject such a direct self-invitation, and my wife told me to invite them if I felt comfortable with that. At that moment I had no problem since they had always been respectful people. That was a big mistake. I talked to my mother and she showed me that my ex-mother-in-law started to send her random messages after I posted about getting married with my girl. My ex-mother-in-law sent her messages like, today I really miss my daughter. It's a shame that your son is forgetting her since it would be a good idea to visit her grave, but he doesn't want to, or my daughter really would have loved to attend the wedding. Every day, they had contact from time to time, so my mother didn't find that too weird. My mother felt pressured, and under her own beliefs she also pressured me. She apologized to me and my wife and said she was out of line. Honestly, that triggered me. My mother lost a son and a husband. I grew up seeing how people expected the same thing they expected of me from her. I got angry and talked to my ex-mother-in-law. It really bothered me that they tried to manipulate my mother, knowing what she suffered and how sensitive she is about that topic. Ex-father-in-law apologized and his wife did not. She said she finds it disrespectful that I don't do anything in honor of her daughter and that I even stopped wearing my wedding ring when she died. I'm not going to take that personally. I know that the death of a child is really hard, but I'm not an extension of her daughter. I am my own person. I just told them that they're no longer invited to the wedding because I was very kind, but they didn't respected me, my mother and my girlfriend. I told ex-mother-in-law that I will make my whole family block them from everything if she keeps trying to make my mother feel bad. Until the end she stood her ground and never said sorry. Was I cruel? I don't care. I don't owe them anything. My mother lost her husband and they used that to manipulate her mind. They stopped being my family when their daughter died. I always just had a respectful treat with them, nothing more. I won't make a table in honor of anyone. I won't make a video in honor of anyone or anything like that. I'll only have my brother's favorite beer and wine because it's something that cute drunk told me in life that he wanted hot. My wife said she never lost anyone close to her, so she really doesn't need to pay tribute to anyone. The only thing that will be honored will be the union of me and my wife's, because that's the thing that makes my days perfect and filled with happiness. I don't like symbolic things because I believe that the dead are dead and that's it. They are not still by my side or anything like that, but that's my belief and point of view. Everyone can have a different point of view. To be honest, I thought I would get a lot of "you are the a-hole." Since my father passed away, it has seemed strange to me how people see widows and widowers. Everyone wanted my mother to continue loving my father even after he passed away, and when it happened to me I felt the same pressure. I'm a bad person for loving my girlfriend so much more than I loved her. Am I wrong for feeling that the worst loss in my life was my brother's and not my wife's or father? All the widows have pictures of their deceased partners. I'm a bad person for not wanting to do that. Should I still wear my wedding ring like the widows from the grief counseling does? But I don't want to. Or am I a bad person for not feeling anything for her anymore? I felt guilt many times long time ago. They were questions that I asked myself daily as soon as I began my relationship with my wife. Questions that I don't ask at all anymore, but they really tortured me because what is usually expected of a widower is that we are that forever, never the husband, eternally the melancholic character even if we have found someone new. We are always expected to love our deceased partner even if we have a new person, because you can romantically love two people at the same time. But what if I don't want to? What if that's not for me and I want to give all my love to just one person? What if I want to move on with my life? I think at this point I'm just venting, so I'm sorry if you made it this far. Be kinder to new wives and husbands. I felt ready to start dating 2 years later and I met the love of my life. But I know a lot of married people who shouldn't be because they're still grieving and sending all that mental load to their partners. Please learn that it is good to be alone when you do not feel ready. There's nothing wrong with being single. Thanks for the people who gave me good advices, even if some of them were pretty weird. I had an agitated weekend, so now I just want to watch TV with my girlfriend. Next story. Am I the a-hole for causing the miscarriage of my husband's affair partner? Throwaway for obvious reasons. I don't know where to begin or where to end this story. I can't discuss this with anyone I know because I feel like an a-hole while also feeling justified at the same time. This story will also sound made up, but it's really not, and I'm just hurting and want some place to type it all out too. I, F36, have been with my husband, M39, for over a decade. Early on, I had to have a hysterectomy due to health complications and told him if he wanted kids, we should go our separate ways. He insisted he was strictly child-free and didn't want kids. In every other way, we were perfect for each other. A few years into our marriage, we even had the chance to adopt a little girl from a family member's unplanned pregnancy. I was thrilled, but he still didn't want kids, so she was adopted elsewhere. Not being a mom hurt, but I accepted it. Some time back, my husband started acting weird. You know how you just know when someone you love changes? He came home late, avoided sex, and was cold. He denied anything was wrong, but I could tell he was lying. Whenever I tried to talk to him about it, he'd tell me I'm being psycho and controlling. So, I snooped through his phone and found evidence of a very long affair. I'm not proud of it, but I did it. I needed that peace of mind. His mistress, F26 or 27, whom he'd introduced to me as his cousin, was around less than 2 months pregnant. They were discussing marriage after he divorced me. He admitted he didn't want to divorce me yet because he would lose our house, which I funded entirely. He'd also been using our joint account, which I contribute significantly more to, I earn considerably more than him, to pay for her rent and hospital expenses. When I confronted him, he admitted to the affair and her pregnancy. She came over, and things got heated. I tried to blame him, not her, but after a lot of tears and fighting, I lost control and told them that I hoped they lost the child. I'm not proud of it, but I said it. He moved out of my house the next day, not sure where they live now. A few weeks later, she had a miscarriage. They blame me and believe I caused it. She came to our house, slapped me, banged my head against the wall, and kicked me. I was not significantly injured. He didn't hurt me physically, but he didn't stop her either. Yes, I was foolish to let them in, but I am in a weird mental state too and didn't expect her to hit me. Maybe I deserved it. I may have felt the same if someone said something like that about my unborn child and lost it. I won't file charges because it's not an option in my country, and maybe I deserved the beating for what I said. I just want to know if I'm the a-hole, and if yes, how big of an a-hole I am. Thanks. Edit. What I said was so unforgivable in my religion. Wishing something bad on an unborn baby is like unforgivable. It's not some small thing, that's why I feel like an a-hole. A child is considered God's blessing. I said all that and cursed them, and maybe my anger and envy created Nazar. That's why I think him the a-hole. Logically I know I didn't cause it to actually happen, but the bad thing happened because I thought bad, and because I was hurt, my bad thoughts had effect. Update. I've been meaning to post an update for a while now, but was just so occupied with everything going on. After everything that happened, my in-laws found out that my husband and I are staying separately, because he also stopped sending them money for their upkeep. They called me, and I told them everything honestly, including what I said. My in-laws completely took my side. They threatened to cut their son out of their lives for his infidelity and were also angry about the embarrassment he has caused them. They've told him that the only way he can make it up to them is by obtaining my forgiveness and making it up to me. I'm thankful for them. They also informed my parents and reassured them that they'll be supporting me no matter what. I've been living with my in-laws since. Many of you were right, she was never pregnant and never had a miscarriage. She couldn't provide any evidence of pregnancy or a miscarriage. According to my mother-in-law, I think my husband realized she'd been lying about her pregnancy only after leaving me. It also turns out that she really is my husband's distant cousin. So he wasn't lying about that, at least. She apparently begged my in-laws not to tell her own parents, but they went ahead and told them anyway. Word spread, and she is now in shame for premarital sex, that too with a married man. I don't know specific details about her, but I think she's pretty much been put under house arrest by her parents other than for absolutely essential trips. My parents are too old to have much of an opinion. They are reassured that my in-laws are on my side and are happy with anything I do. My husband and I are still not on good terms, but I still love him very much. I need time to heal from this and a proper apology, which I'm yet to receive. But once I do, I'm inclined to take him back. I think he currently resents me because of the backlash he got. I think he was fully expecting me to be on the receiving end of it, as I was, and is upset that his parents took my side. But eventually, I think he will realize the error of his ways. I don't know if this update is happy or not, but my heart feels lighter. I wanted to update because so many people reached out to me offering words of comfort and support both on the post and in DMs. I read all of it, even if I couldn't reply to everyone personally. Thank you to everyone. Edit. I'm not Indian, not that I have any problems with India or Indians. I'm 36 years old and it'll be hard for me to find anyone else after this. I'm not being a doormat, I'm being practical so I won't be lonely later. Next story. The girl, 18F, I like kissed me, 19M, when I dropped her off. What do I do? We met at work and became friends fast, now we spend a ton of time together. We started playing video games together, so if we're not working together we're on the mic together. I took her to get Poke and Boba after work. She touched my hand when she laughed and I almost died. When I dropped her off at her place she just leaned over and kissed me, thanked me, said she would be waiting for me on the game we play, then got out of the car. Not going to lie, that was my first kiss, and I am a super virgin. My mind is reeling and I don't know what to do. I kind of want to ask if she's my girlfriend, but that seems crazy. I don't want to ask her and make her think I'm clueless. I am, and she laughs or never talks to me again. Also, if the kiss was bad and she wants to pretend it never happened, I don't want to humiliate myself. I don't even know if that was a date or not. Maybe I just move on and see what happens next. But I'd really like to try to make a move if she's into me. I really don't know. Update. Hi everyone. Thank you to everyone who responded. I really appreciated all the advice and reassurance. I was fully panicking and didn't know what to do. I got a bit overwhelmed with comments and did not respond to all of them, but trust me when I say I read and appreciated every single one. I also want to add that I know my post wasn't very popular, but I was not sure how else to update, so I'm making a new one. I'm a bit jittery right now and I'm probably going to include too much detail, but I'm just very, very happy. So, we went out on a date. The day after I made the post, I dropped her off at home after work. I asked if she wanted to go to the mall with me this weekend. She laughed and said okay, then I actually kissed her this time, which was awesome. I was very, very nervous the whole time. The mall was fun. I chose it because it's casual and there's a lot of stuff we both like there. We got drinks and she asked for a sip of mine, and drank straight from my straw, which did something to me. She hugged me a lot, she let me kiss her a bunch, we held hands, I put my hand on her back, I even played with her hair. It was really, really nice. All in all, we just looked at cool stuff and hung out together, which was all I wanted anyway. We went to dinner at a noodle place. She fed me something she wanted me to try. I don't even remember what it tasted like because I was too busy panicking because she was feeding me. She also stole a dumpling off of my plate, which was really, really cute. I didn't even care that I lost a dumpling. I went in her house for a while and she mostly just showed me her anime figures and PC setup, but it was still surreal the whole time. I told her she was pretty and smelled good and she laughed, and told me I was handsome and smelled good, which made me almost turn into soup. I think we technically made out on her bed for like 15 seconds. I told her she was my first kiss and she laughed and called me cute. I almost turned to dust. When I left, she told me to message her when I get home so that she knows I'm safe, and again, I nearly died right then and there. That was really it. I'm home now and my heart is still practically pounding. I almost asked her if she was my girlfriend again, but I learned from the comments that that is a terrible idea, and I'm going to wait a few weeks and a few more really great dates to ask her to be my girlfriend. We've been messaging practically constantly since I got home. I'm sorry the update was boring and rambling and stupid, I'm just really, really happy. Update 2. Hi everyone. This is probably really dumb, but I wanted to make one last update for my post. I really wanted to express gratitude and appreciation for everyone that responded and tried to help me. The internet isn't always a nice place, but you guys were nicer to me than almost anyone in my life and I'm very, very thankful. The last few weeks have been amazing. We've been going on dates and doing nothing, which I never knew could be so fun. I'm surprised that I never run out of things to talk about with her. We've been friends for well over a year, and I'd think it would have stopped by now, but it's like we never shut up or stop laughing. She has told me she was waiting for me to make a move for forever. She admitted she had been dropping hints for months, and I'm painfully oblivious. That's why she finally just kissed me. Something that I never understood was feeling so protective over a person. She works at the customer service desk and I'm pretty much a box boy, so sometimes while I'm in the back building box forts she's getting yelled at, and it makes me really upset. I don't like seeing people treat her poorly. With that being said, she is tough. She says it's her Latin blood, but I think she's just special. An unforeseen benefit of this is my self-esteem has improved tremendously. She's very, very pretty in every aspect. I never would have imagined someone like her would be into me. She is helping me realize that I'm not still the tall, scrawny Asian kid in a Pokemon t-shirt with glasses and acne. Now I'm a tall, somewhat muscular Asian man in a Pokemon t-shirt with contacts and a skincare routine. That's a joke, mostly. In reality, I guess I didn't realize I was likable in any way, shape, or form, and being liked by someone so absolutely amazing has been incredible. Though it might too much information, I am no longer a super virgin. With that being said, sex is nice, but I'm just happy I get to spend time with her. I didn't realize how happy the little things like hand holding and kissing would make me. Just looking at her sometimes makes me melt. Finally, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to jump the broom at my wedding? Hi everyone. I'm 33, Black F, soon to be married to 29, White M. We're getting married in October. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 1. I was born and raised in Kenya, and I moved to the States to attend university. My fiancé is from the West Coast, Wyoming, and his parents still live there. My fiancé and his parents don't have the best relationship. I've only met them a few times since we've been together. His mother always asks to come visit, but my fiancé finds excuses to stop her from coming. He's very introverted and his mother and father are a lot personality-wise, so I understand why he keeps his distance. After hearing about our engagement, my fiancé's mother insisted on helping with the decorations for the wedding. She's an interior decorator. I told her that she could design the centerpieces, but everything else would be handled by the wedding planner. She begrudgingly agreed, and I thought that was the end of it. She flew in a few weeks after that to discuss wedding plans. She showed me a few of her centerpiece designs, and then showed me the real reason why she came. The brooms. At first I didn't understand why she was showing me a bunch of elaborate brooms. She had a whole file showcasing about 50 types of brooms. I kept thinking that the venue we had chosen didn't need different fancy brooms everywhere because it's a modern venue. The brooms really wouldn't fit into the theme that we were going for. I guess she saw the confusion on my face because she asked if I already had a broom in mind because she was really hoping we could pick one out together. I told her that the cleaning staff at the venue would do an excellent job beforehand, so bringing a broom would not be necessary. She laughed and said, "I'm talking about picking out a broom to jump over during the ceremony. I'm not normally this dense. I know the history of jumping the broom in African American history, but I'm from Kenya. We don't jump the broom in Kenya, and I would feel uncomfortable jumping the broom because it's not a part of my culture and my fiancé is very white. I just didn't think that my white mother-in-law would be so insistent on us jumping the broom." She was downright beaming when she showed me more broom photos. I told her that I was uncomfortable with jumping the broom and gave her my reasons. My fiancé stepped in and said that he was uncomfortable as well. His mother was pissed. She said the whole reason she came here was to pick out brooms, and now our wedding won't have any culture. I told her that we could incorporate some of my tribe's traditions if she wanted to add some culture into my wedding. I mentioned the Kenyan choir that was going to be singing at our wedding, not to mention the very traditional food that would be served, but she wouldn't budge on that broom, and how without it, we were turning our backs on my culture. I finally snapped and told her that we could always go the dowry route. Her side of the family could scrounge together a few goats and some cows, and we'd call it even. She turned red and stomped off. She left after a day of the silent treatment. I thought she would cool down a bit, and we could be cordial. My fiancé told me that would never happen. He was right. A few weeks ago, my fiancé's mother made a post on Facebook. She decided to make her own custom broom herself, and made a post on Facebook condemning me and my refusal to jump the broom. She went on and on about how I was turning away from my roots, and how she slaved for weeks on a broom that will never be jumped over. I've received countless messages from her friends and family calling me an a-hole. My fiancé's dad has called my fiancé and I ungrateful. My fiancé is livid and wants to boot her out of the wedding and cut contact, but now most of his side is refusing to come to the wedding to show solidarity with his mother. So, am I the a-hole? Update. Hi everyone. It's been about a week and a half since my first post, and a few things have happened. I want to thank everyone who responded/commented on my last post. Everyone was so nice and helpful, which helped me solidify the fact that I was not an a-hole. I decided to be petty last week, so I sat down and wrote a rebuttal post to my future mother-in-law's Facebook post about my refusal to jump over her customized handmade broom that she had slaved over for weeks. A lot of people who commented on my last post clocked the "slaved over" line she used. I went back and counted the times she used the word "slaved" in her Facebook post. She used the word over 10 times. Her post was only 2 paragraphs long. I won't write my full post here, but it touched on me being Kenyan and not African American several times. In caps. I decided to tag all of her friends/family that had sent me private messages condemning my refusal to jump over her custom broom. I reiterated the fact that in true tradition of my tribe, a dowry would be expected from the groom's family. I mentioned that they could send their goats, cows, and chickens to my future mother-in-law's house if they so felt inclined to make a contribution. I also wrote the post in both English and Swahili to really hammer down the point that I'm from Kenya. I may or may not have called my future mother-in-law a racist cow at the end. In a polite way though. Since my Facebook post, all hell has broken loose. I knew that my post wouldn't win any of my fiancé's family over to my side, but I didn't realize that my future mother-in-law had so much pull. After my post, I blocked and unfriended all of my fiancé's family minus a few members who had always been in my corner. I had only added most of them because of the wedding anyway, so no love lost there. A few days later, my fiancé's sister texted me and told me that her mother had doubled down. She recruited a bunch of her family/friends to make their own brooms in solidarity with her. There are about 7 brooms in total now, all made from different family members, I guess to make my mother-in-law feel better. I've seen pictures. They're all horrendous. One of them says, "FMIL is not a racist," on the handle. LOL. She's been calling/texting my fiancé non-stop since my Facebook post, and so has his dad, but he hasn't given them the time of day. He sent them one text telling them that they've gone too far and he needs space. Lots of space. As for the upcoming wedding, we have decided to accept my fiancé's family's plan to boycott. Most of their invitations have been revoked, including the invitations extended to my future mother and father-in-law. They'll probably still show up to the wedding, but we have security. My fiancé and I have decided to go low contact with his side of the family. He has muted/blocked his parents, and slowly moved to no contact in a few months. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel James Stories.